I've always loved feeling fear. Roller coasters, haunted houses, horror movies. I've also suffered from paralyzing anxiety my entire life. It sounds contradictory, but I think I enjoy anything that lets me feel in control of fear, or at least believe I am. My friend Adam got me into urban exploration. You'd be surprised how many abandoned buildings exist right in the middle of a crowded, bustling city. For me, it's actually more peaceful than terrifying. A silent refuge, a place completely forgotten by the outside world. We were on our way to one with a couple more friends. An old hospital that had closed years ago. They put up a makeshift fence, but for some reason, the grounds remained untouched. The GPS showed zero point 0.5 miles. My excitement grew as we got closer. "Wow, what's that?" Adam asked, stopping abruptly and turning toward an almost imperceptible path leading into a wooded area. We were still on the outskirts of the city, but there wasn't much foliage here, just a few scattered trees. This was the closest thing to a forest we'd find in this area. "It's not going to lead anywhere, man. Probably just a service road next to the highway," Chris said. "No," Adam replied. How have I never noticed it before?" He pointed toward the sky, and above the thin layer of trees, I could see the upper floors of a massive building towering over us. "It's pretty weird. I've never seen it either," I said. None of us had. We were stunned. All four of us had lived in this area our entire lives, not to mention our obsession with exploring. Not only had we never seen this enormous building before, but we'd also never come across it in any of the forums we used to discover new places. Adam immediately started walking down the path. Driven by curiosity, we followed. The path led us straight to the entrance. A rotten wooden door that looked surprisingly ancient. In fact, the entire building seemed older and more decayed than any we'd explored before. "This could be dangerous, bro. It looks completely destroyed. Someone's gonna end up falling through the floor or stepping on a rusty nail." "This is a terrible idea," I said. I knew perfectly well we'd faced the same risks before and had never been scared, but now I was terrified to the core. I don't remember ever having such a strong, bad feeling about something. "Why hasn't anyone demolished this place?" "It's huge," Jay chimed in. "In this area, they fill every available space with houses and shopping centers, yet they just left this spot untouched." Aside from Adam, Jay was the most adrenaline-addicted person I knew, but I could hear the fear in his voice too. Adam said nothing. He just kicked the door open and walked in. "Adam, wait, bro, stop for a second," I shouted. He didn't stop. He just kept walking. "Come on, man, let's just go find the hospital." We tried to reason with him, but he didn't respond, didn't turn around, just kept moving. "Damn," I muttered. "We have to follow him. He's gonna get hurt." Protesting to no one about how we were all going to get injured inside, we cautiously entered the building. We yelled for Adam to wait, but we saw him turn a corner. By the time we caught up, he was gone. We froze, staring down the long hallway, frantically calling his name. "He must be in one of these rooms," Chris said. We started walking down the hall, peeking into each one. Most had doors hanging off their hinges. Rust, cobwebs, and rot surrounded us. We tried to avoid what we could, puddles of dirty water and parts of the floor that seemed ready to collapse under the slightest weight. "Oh, fuck. Fuck," Chris screamed at the top of his lungs. I ran to him and found him tearing off his shirt and shaking violently. He still had cobweb remnants in his hair. "Get it off me! Get it off me!" he sobbed desperately. "Calm down, bro, you're fine. It's just a cobweb," I said, trying to sound composed. He shoved me away. "Screw this. If Adam wants to ignore us and break his ass falling down the stairs, let him." Chris yelled, running back the way we'd come. I returned to the hallway and called for Jay, telling him Chris was leaving and maybe we should wait for Adam outside. I waited for Jay to come out of one of the rooms, but he never did. Jada. Damn it. "Okay, I'm leaving too. Sorry guys, but I've had enough," I shouted into the empty hallway as I headed back toward the entrance. I turned the corner, back the way we'd come, or so I thought. Instead, I found myself staring down another long hallway, almost identical to the last, but somehow even older, more decayed, more forgotten by time. But there was no sign of the entrance. No door. I started screaming for Chris, completely frantic as panic took over. No response. At the top of my lungs, I screamed for anyone, but all I heard was the echo of my own trembling voice. Okay, okay, I said aloud, to no one but myself, trying to calm down. I was going to break a window and get the hell out. But there were no windows. How could there be no windows? Hadn't we seen them from outside? Wouldn't we have noticed something so strange in such a massive building? Nothing made sense. And then I noticed it. There was no graffiti on the walls. There was always graffiti. Signs of life, of other explorers, of someone. I felt sick, dizzy. My vision tunneled as I looked around and realized there was nothing here but endless, empty hallways. Everything looked exactly the same. I was a rat in a maze. And the moment I realized that, I swear I felt it. The building knew it had trapped me. The flight instinct took over, and I ran faster than I'd ever run in my life. Screaming for my friends. Screaming for anyone. Begging and pleading into the silence for help. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. I saw Adam in the room closest to me. He was there, completely still, facing the corner. I saw him. I swear I saw him, but when I reached the room, he was gone. Questioning my own sanity, panicked and desperate, I froze. I couldn't move. My body was paralyzed. Brian. Brian, where are you? It was Adam. I could hear him calling me. I snapped out of my paralysis immediately, running as fast as I could toward the sound of his voice. I called out frantically, but only silence answered my screams. All I could do was wander, drift through the endless hallways, sobbing uncontrollably. I clung to the absurd hope that maybe, if I kept searching, I'd find something to break through the concrete walls surrounding me. But deep down, I knew it was useless. I was going to die here. I walked for hours through the endless maze of hallways. The adrenaline had completely faded. I was exhausted, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't stay still, trapped with my thoughts. Every time I tried to stay in one place, it felt like the walls were closing in on me, like the building was waiting for the perfect moment to devour me. I had to keep moving, going even deeper into the maze. With no sense of time, I wasn't surprised my phone had no signal. The weirdest part was that the time was frozen at 4:20. From the first moment, I pulled it out of my pocket to try calling 911. The clock hadn't changed. The phone worked, except for the time, which remained static. Damn! I screamed as I fell down a staircase.